Hi, how you doing? Today let's talk about the new moon in Virgo that's coming up tomorrow. I believe it's going to be a partial solar eclipse, but I don't think we're going to be seeing that in America. Best I could tell, I think the eclipse is actually going to pass over the ocean, but it's still a pretty big day. We got lots of intense transits coming up. I've already talked at length about current events that are happening around this time. So this video, I want to just make it all about us and our own personal journeys. And I think what this new moon says for us is it is a time for us to plan and take action that needs to be done. So we are coming up at the end of Virgo. This eclipse is happening at 29 degrees Virgo. So we are moving into a new phase in our lives, and one that is going to need a lot of balance, as that is what Libra signifies. And so 29 degrees Virgo, this solar eclipse is a great opportunity for us to set out our intentions for what we want to do next and to really focus on the groundwork tasks that are necessary to begin achieving that goal. This Virgo energy is going to really push us to bear down and focus on the small, routine, or more mundane details of things that we need to accomplish right now. So here's a personal example for me. It's time for me to finish setting up my office and get everything ready so I can start doing my job again with my computer and not just through my phone like I've been doing since I moved for the last couple of weeks. And so how I'm going to channel the energy of this moon is I am going to be using it to really focus on getting the rest of my house unpacked and ready to go so I can have access to my office. And so you can decide what tasks you're going to really be focusing on over the next couple of weeks. And now is a great time to do that. So look to your chart, look to where Virgo falls in your chart, and ask yourself what area in your life does that affect, and then think about what needs to be done to push you to the next phase in that step. So we have lots of interesting stuff happening here. You know, this eclipse is a stellium. It is Sun, Moon, and Mercury, but Mercury is already in Libra. And also, Libra ruler Venus just moved into Virgo. And so we have a balance between Mercury and Venus happening here. So that is thinking about what we need to do, what is going to bring us balance, what resources do we have to achieve that, collaboration with our partners even. But more than that, we have a grand trine here. So Sun, Moon, Mercury is trining Pluto, and it's trining Uranus. And so this is change. This is what we channel into this new moon, what chapter we choose to start next. This is reflecting that we will be seeing quick results, and they are going to be very transformative. So this is actually a very, very powerful eclipse. We also see that there is an opposition of Saturn conjunct Neptune, and it is sextiling that Pluto and Uranus. And here we are seeing the potential of analysis paralysis, so to speak. We could be too focused up on trying to figure out what we need to do next that we may not actually get anything done. We may just get caught up, overwhelmed in all the different tasks that we have before us. The key, though, is to select just any task, and just keep on moving. just keep on checking things off the list. Just one thing less, one thing less, one thing less. That is what Virgo is all about, is methodical and efficient work. And so that is what we need to be focusing on with this chart. In addition to that grand trine, it's not fully shown on this chart, but we have two T-squares. We have Mars, Pluto, and Jupiter, but we also have Chiron, Pluto, and Jupiter. And this is actually a grand cross between these four placements, but it's very loose due to Jupiter. Jupiter is hanging wide at 21 degrees. If it was a little bit closer, it would be a very tight grand cross between all of them. But that's why it's not fully showing up on the chart here, because Jupiter is hanging out just a little bit too wide. But given the powerful planets that are involved in this placement and the fact that there's, they're close enough to form T-squares with everything individually, and it's just the grand cross that's not fully showing up, I am still considering this, even though it's a wide orb. And so this is important. This is showing us we have Mars at 29 degrees Libra. And also we have that yod between Saturn conjunct Neptune and Uranus. And so this is kind of a warning of making sure that we don't lose balance by trying to take on too much. We can end up hurting ourselves in the long run if we're trying to do too much ourselves, if we're exerting ourselves too much. The key is to remember that Virgo energy, to be methodical, be meticulous, be efficient, plan ahead, and just focus on getting it done. And don't try to kill yourself in the process. And we see that Mars is sextiling that Venus, which also rules it. Venus is also a yod between Pluto and Saturn conjunct Neptune. And so this is a good time for us to reach out and collaborate with others, particularly if you are lucky enough to have a partner. Particularly, this is a great time to really reach out and communicate with your significant other or whoever you may live with, and be open and honest with them and collaborate with them. See what you can accomplish together, and remember that you are a team and you can help each other. And that can probably help prevent you from getting caught in that Saturn conjunct Neptune overwhelming analysis paralysis, not actually getting anything done. And then finally, we have Saturn conjunct Neptune being a yod itself to Mars and Venus, the apex of the other two yods. And so we discussed this in our previous chart reading about the events that's going to happen on September 21st. But what will resolve this yod involves entirely how we resolve the yods of Mars and Venus. So the opposite of Mars, we have Chiron. So focusing on self-healing. The opposite of Venus, we have just entering into the second house cusp in Pisces. And so for this Saturn conjunct Neptune yod, we can find an answer at the opposing point, which is actually our stellium. So whatever overwhelming tasks that we have, whatever is seeming like too much to tackle on our own, we just need to focus on the little tasks that we can accomplish now, and just be as efficient as possible with them. Collaborate with loved ones and friends on how they can be able to help, and we will pull through. And the groundwork we are laying ahead of us now will bring about fruition with potentially whatever we focus on with the full moon in a couple of weeks. So that's about all the time I have for today. I hope you all have a wonderful new moon day tomorrow. Lots of exciting things. I will be heavily anticipating the outcome of tomorrow. I'm very curious to see what's going to go down. We've got a lot going on. We've got a grand trine. We have almost a mystic rectangle. We have a grand cross. We have 3 yods. There's so much going on. So be sure to let me know what you're going to be focusing on and hopefully it'll bring us about the balance that we're looking for. Love you guys. Have a great day.